8 years ago, Brian Wood was visiting this churchyard here, St Mary's, Lower Sunderland in Luton. At that time it was dilapidated and overgrown. So what made Brian want to change all of that into the beautiful, peaceful churchyard it is today?
I came up to help a friend out over there to put a surround around his wife's plot. He asked me to do that. And when I'd done that, I thought, well, I don't know, I'll put one around my mum and dad's. It was like a wilderness. It smelt of decay, especially up the back end. It was all around the back end. It was kind of very much neglected, pretty well always. There was a few people that did little pockets here and there, but apart from that, it was a mess. Well, my mum and dad and two brothers that are here in front of this bench. Little Barry died in 1940. I think it was a throat infection, but in those years they died of all sorts of things, diphtheria and scarlet fever, because there weren't the injections and things in those days. My mother died in 1947, which was 7 years later, but that was kind of very tragic because she was my world. My dad is here. He died in 1988, on my birthday. I've been working here for 8 years since, come August, it will be 8 years. At the beginning, as I said earlier, I would not have took it on. If somebody come up and said to me, like, it's £500 a week, do that churchyard, I'd have said, get away. You couldn't do all that work. You could never have thought about taking it on. It was something which came gradually, bit by bit, and the more I did, the more involved I got, and the comments from people that were coming in who had loved ones here.
And then earlier this year, tragedy struck.
I found my son Jason asleep in his cottage on the 20th of February. My mother hadn't been able to, his mother hadn't been able to get in the morning, and so they kept ringing to try to raise him, and then we got alarmed, so I went up, and I went in and I found my son laying on the bed, on his stomach with his arms crossed and his head laid on his arm like that, and I kind of knew by looking at him, and I went round and held him, and I was hysterical for a long while. The phone was ringing, I wouldn't answer it, and it's the paramedics are on their way, and they're asking me about his condition. I said, well, I'm afraid he's gone. And they said, well, you can't be sure. And I gave him mouth to mouth straight away, and then I did what they said. I pumped his chest and everything, and I was doing that when they arrived. And they asked me to just stand to one side while they checked him out, and I said, can you fix it? Or something like that, and they said, no, sorry, he's gone. Well, what can you say? It's been a long, long process over 5 months, and the thing I needed to know most of all, as the rest of the family did, that he died in his sleep peacefully. Unascertained natural causes is what is on his certificate.
And Brian's got his own health issues to deal with.
Yeah, well, it started 2.5 years ago and I got bowel cancer. So they did the operation, and the operation was a success in as much as that they were able to remove the cancer. Now it appears that it's back in my liver and lung. Death, it doesn't worry me in the slightest. I have a very strong faith and belief. Jason is now on a journey, and you know, I long to join him on that journey.